Okay, so these are the ingredients that you are going to need. Most importantly, you're going to need a can of organic pumpkin. And just make sure when you're picking something out that the only ingredients in it are actual organic pumpkin. A lot of canned pumpkin has additives such as sugar, which is exactly what we're trying to avoid. Then you're going to want a can of the organic coconut milk, classic, not low fat or anything, and make sure as well that this is unsweetened. You're going to want some seasonings such as cinnamon, and this is great. I picked this up. It's pumpkin pie spice. I believe I got this at Target, which I think is the Archer Farms, where that brand comes from. And you could either use a vanilla extract. I actually prefer vanilla beans, and we'll split that up and take the insides out and throw that in there. It's a great addition to pump up the flavor a little bit. And then last but not least, we are going to add some organic brown sugar. When I first made this recipe, I used Swerve, which a lot of people tend to go towards when they're on a keto diet because it is low in carbs. I think it's xylitol, sugar substitute. However, I found that the brown sugar for instance, this brown sugar is only 3 carbs per serving, and that same serving actually, Swerve has 4 carbs. So, you know, it is what it is, and the brown sugar actually tastes really good with this particular recipe. So, let's get started. I have in here already, as you've seen, the pumpkin and as well as the coconut milk. And now I have added 2 teaspoons of the pumpkin pie spice, 1 teaspoon of the organic cinnamon, and 1 full vanilla bean. And there you see my vanilla bean. It seems like you can't take no more. And then I am now going to add the organic brown sugar, but I just wanted to let you know that for this recipe, as I said before, instead of using the Swerve, this has slightly less carbs in it, which is interesting. I found surprising actually. But I want to point something out to you. So a serving of this is actually 1 teaspoon. That's a very small amount. Usually, as you'll start to come across recipes, many times it calls for a 1/4 cup or 4 tablespoons. There are 3 teaspoons for every tablespoon. You'll start to understand that even though these recipes claim to be low carb, which is also no to low sugar, when in actuality they aren't, because they'll say something as low as 2 tablespoons, but that really means 6 teaspoons. If you then figure out your carbs, it's 6 times each serving amount. So 6 times 4 is 24 grams. So that's going to start to add up. So for this, we're going to actually use 3 teaspoons, and then we'll take a little test to see if we need more. This particular recipe is going to serve 4 to 5. It'll have 4 or yield 4 to 5 servings. So if we have 3 teaspoons, it'll total to 4 to 12 grams of carbs, and then 12 divided by the 4 servings, back to the 4 servings, you'll only have 3 carbs per serving. So that will be much better in the long run. So I'm going to now add the 3 teaspoons of the brown sugar. We'll whip it up, we'll taste it, and see if we need to add anything else. When my engine starts, I just can't get enough. I've let you up and tie it down, so you'll be here, won't sneak around. I'll lace you up and put you on. Running for you every day and night. All right, so I had it on for about a minute on high. It looks super yummy. We're going to actually taste it and see if we need to add anything else. Okay, so I am all done putting them into their containers, and I very surprisingly was able to get 5 servings out of this batch, which I'm super stoked about, because we will have less carbs. I haven't counted up the macros yet, but I will put that in the video at some point. And I'm going to stick these in the refrigerator, and it takes about an hour or so to get it to the right consistency. Obviously, I won't eat all of these in one day. I will usually have one per day, and it does last about 3 days or so. So I will have perhaps half after lunch, maybe another half after dinner, or just the whole thing at dinner time. And yeah, so this is a great high-fat, low-carb dessert for you and the family. So let's get these in the fridge, and I'll show you what the final product looks like. So here we have our little bowl. I put some cinnamon, like I said, and when I poured it in here, it was like more of a liquid consistency, but now that it is finished, you can tell it's nice and smooth and creamy and super delicious. You can't really tell. It has more of a pumpkin look. It looks a little orange in the video, but it's a little more of a pumpkin look. And yeah, so this is how you make it. It's absolutely delicious, and I will put the macros in the video, and I hope you enjoyed this. And yeah, try it, check it out, give my video a thumbs up, and I would love if you subscribe to my channel. Cheers!